I have a 2016 Dodge Charger, 5.7 Hemi. Let me start off with this. I keep forgetting to mention about this oil pressure sensor socket. I didn't realize it until today, well, yesterday anyways, that there's a socket in the O2 sensor kit. It doesn't have a groove or slit like these do. Well, maybe this doesn't either. Could be for the fuel sensor, whoever it is. But I haven't looked into it. But I just found out that there is an oil pressure sensor for this. Oil pressure sensor socket in the O2 kit. Just to prove it to you, this is the new sensor. And the socket just, look at that. Yeah, I think it applies to a lot of American cars out there. But just want to let you know that before I forget. But let me get to it on this. I had a struggle with removing the oil pressure sensor switch harness. This is the harness right here for the oil pressure. This is the harness for the oil temperature sensor, so I was told. The location is right here. That's the alternator. Well, this is the area where the alternator sits. I had to remove it because I couldn't figure out how to remove this harness. Let me show you the location and I'll tell you the reason why. So this right there is the oil pressure sensor. It sits right next to the alternator. So if you look in the crevice, without the alternator removed, if you look in between the alternator and the water pump, you can see that right there. It's in the, well, you look through this bracket right here and you'll see it. Now that's the oil temperature sensor harness, oil temperature sensor switch. Below that is where the oil filter is. Alright, now some YouTube said that you can remove this oil pressure sensor without removing the alternator. Well, it's true to some point if you can get to the harness. I had a struggle. The harness, both these harnesses have a double locking tab. The regular one, like you see on almost every single harness, is this little tab here. You just press and pull. But for this particular one, it has a second locking tab, which is right there. I'll zoom in. Now you have to slide it sideways to be able to open the groove there. There's two grooves. The sensor has it too. Right here. So once it slides in, so it goes in. Now the orientation is the lock tabs facing down on this car anyways. Once you torque it, it could be in any position. But the harness plugs in through these. There's two grooves that slides through this notch, and of course that second locking tab would slide over and locks it in. Well, that was my struggle. I couldn't figure out how to remove that or how to unlock it until I removed the alternator. All right, so this is in the open position on this lock tab. Now if you slide it over like so, well, that lock tab will sit flush there, but when it's facing down, I couldn't see how to remove it. But then I kind of had a common sense that, you know, there's got to be an oil, since this side is flush, I can be able to see this. That's the reason why I tested it out by putting a 90-degree pick on this side and press against it. Let's see if I can press it out. Like so. So that's what I did. I used an ice pick and kind of put pressure and slide sideways to unlock, and it opens the groove up. All right. I just want to give you a tip there kind of a BS engineering. I mean, it's a good and a bad. It's good that it's a double locking tab. It's bad that they created this harness into a tight spot, like this oil pressure sensor. If you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna have a struggle for at least half a day on this. All right, I just want to let you see that. Just use anything, probably something like a 90-degree, or like I said, if you don't remove the alternator, try to wedge a flat head or something and then press against this end. So like I said, if it's orientated downwards like this, like mine, you're gonna have to wedge the screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, or flathead screwdriver, and then try to press against that tab to unlock it. It's quite a bit of pressure you have to put onto it to be able to remove it. Oh, since I'm removed this, I just want to let you know how the oil temperature sensor harness unlocks. You see that red tab? It's actually supposed to, this is in the unlock position, so when you lock it, you have to press it flush against the surface of the harness there. You have to press it in. But that's the first thing you do to remove it. You gotta unlock it and then press this. Like any other harness, press this to unlock and then pull. All right, that was the easy part. I can be able to make out of it. This is more of a common thing that I see. This is new to me, how it locks in sideways. So, all right. To give you an idea there. Now if you're removing the alternator, the bolts doesn't come out. It hits the frame or the body at least, but it does come off from the hole. So I mean, you can leave it on there. It doesn't hurt you or anything. But I do remind you that you have to remove the battery, at least the negative post. It's in the trunk in the spare tire well. So remove the negative battery, the negative post anyways, negative cable, I should say. Yeah, you don't want to trip anything off. I did try this, but there was still some power to the car. I was like, oh no, that's not it. So I removed this. It didn't help. Just leave that alone. Put it back in if you're removing that. It wouldn't help. Remove the negative cable from the trunk. All right. And that is it. 2016 Charger. It does apply to many other cars too, but I just know this one. It's a 5.7 if I didn't mention it. All right, good luck guys.